Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this afternoon's podcast. I'm Sheila Taylor. I hold the belief that I am the boss of the NWG organisation, but it's not always adhered to by my team, but, you know, we'll get past that one. This is following on from our annual conference in April this year, where we were really lucky to have Nuria from Swansea University talk to us about the Dragon Initiative. That is the Developing Resistance Against Online Grooming. And I think we're really pleased today that we've got Ruth with us. Ruth is the associate researcher, I think, on the Dragon Shield programme, aren't you, Ruth? So welcome today. Do you want
Thanks for having me? I'm really.
It's good. Do you want to tell us what the Dragon Shield programme is?
Yeah. So as you mentioned, Sheila, the project's called Dragon S, so that stands for Developing Resistance Against Grooming Online. And essentially it's we're a team of researchers working at Swansea University, and we've been researching for about 5 years into how linguistics and language works in online grooming. So what communicative tactics groomers are using when they're entrapping children online. So Project Dragon S is funded by the End Violence Against Children Fund. We've had 2 years funding to translate those research findings into 2 tools to support practitioners. The first tool, Dragon Spotter, is a detection tool, and that's exclusively for work with law enforcement.
And that's what we listened to, wasn't it?
That's what you listened
in the annual conference, and I think people can still go back online on our YouTube video and watch that if they want more information about that.
Absolutely, yeah. And then I'm here today, and my role within the project, as you said, I'm a research associate, so I've been involved in all of the research that we've developed, but then I'm also deputy lead working on the Shield project. Now, the Shield is about developing training for child safeguarding practitioners. So that's the spectrum of people really working with children around child sexual exploitation, specifically online and online grooming. And what we wanted to do was develop training that would translate our research findings into modules that they would be able to see what we've discovered and to take that forward into their practice and hopefully distill that knowledge down to the young people that they're working with. So, yeah.
And it's really important, this, isn't it? You know, this entrapment of children and young people online and understanding it much more, because unless we fully understand how it's happening, it's really difficult to prevent. So really important. So what's the time frame for your pilot project?
Yeah, so what we've done, we've developed these 8 modules. They're an online training suite, and what we really want to do, we developed it with practitioners all the way through. So we've tested the content, we've tested how it worked with around 250 practitioners so far. We've also worked with young people, we've consulted with over 100 young people, and we've had a lived experience group that have supported our work. But now we've got all the content, we've developed all the modules, but what we're really conscious of is that we're academics translating our academic work into training. So we want to road test it essentially. So we're going out to pilot for 6 months between January and June in 2023. And what we're looking to do is invite practitioners to sign up, to express an interest to working with us to help finalise this training. They'll get kind of early access to all of the content, they'll get the experience of doing the training, but we'll be asking them to kind of give us their feedback and help us to kind of, road test it and finally refine it before we scale up and roll it out.
It's an amazing opportunity, isn't it? It's an amazing opportunity for people to help shape as well as get some of that early findings into their own organisations, and it will fit particular projects out there, won't it? So who do you want to target it at? Who do you want to be involved?
Yeah, so as I said, we're looking for what we're calling child safeguarding practitioners, but that would be, we're thinking of you kind of education practitioners that are maybe safeguarding leads. We're thinking of social work practitioners, law enforcement that might have a front-facing role with educating young people, NGOs, third sector running programmes around supporting children. We're interested to hear from kind of youth justice, youth clubs, so anybody who this speaks to and thinks, actually, I could do with knowing a bit more about that, and has that role in terms of trying to prevent and protect children from grooming online. We'd love to hear from you. I think it's important to kind of manage expectations that we're looking for around 60 individuals across 2 sites in the UK for this pilot. So we will probably have a process of kind of selecting and making sure we get the mix of people that because we really want to have that kind of diversity of experience running through the pilot. But that won't be the end either. We've got the 6-month pilot, we'll be writing that up, and then we'll be seeking funding to think about how we can embed and how we can promote and scale up this training. The other thing to say is, you know, EVAC is an international funder. We've got a wide range of international kind of organisations that have been working with us. We're hoping to pilot in New Zealand as well, and Western Australia, so that's really exciting. So I think the other message would be, do express your interest in piloting, but if you're not successful, there's ways to keep in touch with the project, and you know, any ideas around how we might embed and scale up and get this out to people who would benefit from it, we'd really love to hear from you.
Excellent. So as part of this podcast and getting this information out and helping people to take opportunity of this, there'll be a form attached to this, won't they, which is what they need to fill out, and then we'll send it hopefully directly back to you and your email address.
So it's an e-form, so you just fill it up, fill it all out, you know, your name, your organisation, why you want to be involved, and that will automatically come to us. There's no, you don't need to kind of email it on or anything, and then we'll be reviewing those responses. The closing date is the 9th of January, and we'll be reviewing those and getting back to people early on in January with a view to the pilot starting towards the end of January.
Yeah, so the message there is, you know, get that expression of interest filled out before you go on your Christmas vacation, because that will be
tick it off your list, and then you can
tick it off your list, and
Christmas knowing
and then say Merry Christmas. But yes, so you, and once you've been through those and selected who you want, you will let those know. Could we ask, so that people know where they are, that anybody that then expresses an interest but isn't able to take part, that you do let them know that you've not done.
Absolutely, we'll let everybody know. That's fine.
And I think from here it's clear to say that the conversation that we had earlier today is very much about continuing this conversation, bringing the findings into an arena where we can share it with every one of you as we need to, and to continue that dissemination of the learnings and the information as we're going on. I mean,
there's 2 elements of this. One, we're really interested in the kind of co-producing of training with practitioners. I think that's not often done, so the pilot will capture that process. And I think the other thing is that, you know, this is evidence-based training. It's based on 5 years of research, so again, sharing what the outcome of the pilot is, and future, you know, we've also got research outputs. We've been working on a book earlier this year, so we can share all of that with the network. That's absolutely fine. The other thing that I just wanted to make clear was, we've got these modules, there's 8 in total online, and people will be asked to complete the training online in their own time over a period of 6 weeks. So it wouldn't be coming to a classroom and giving up your time that way, but each module is around half an hour to 40 minutes. So just for people to be aware that there is, you know, there is a time commitment, but hopefully the returns in the experience of being involved. And, you know, if anybody does need any sort of evidence for CPD or anything like that, we can provide a certificate and a letter of kind of involvement. So yeah, hopefully there's a return for the time investment, but I just want people to be aware that there would be that kind of commitment.
Brilliant. Thank you ever so much for sparing
some
time today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and everybody that's listening, have a wonderful Christmas, and and get this expression of interest in before you bob off and drink your sherry with your Christmas dinner. So we will see you all again soon. Ruth, thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you, absolute pleasure. Happy Christmas, everybody.